AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate back.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Music. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. What's wrong with Garrett Nussmeier? I'm talking about that in 15 minutes from right now. Right now, though, we always do it on Mondays here at the top of hour 2. Welcome aboard Peter Burns of the SEC Network. Peter Burns!
This week in the SEC with Peter Burns.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Let's separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Number 11 of the defense. Throwing the LSU player's shoe 20 yards down the field.
With Peter Burns of the SEC Network. Presented by Blue Delta Jeans.
Yo, Peter, man, check out Channel 9. Check out this chick. How are you, dude?
It never gets old, honestly. Every time I hear it, it never gets old.
Which reminds me, I've been meaning to ask you this. When are we going to bring back the shocked koala? And if you don't have plans to, can I steal it?
Well, we can make an agreement that we will be back in. And honestly, it did make a small appearance on Sunday when I'm watching Sam Burns in the Ryder Cup start making a little bit of a run. I'm like, clearly this is not going to be a thing. And I turn it on. I'm like, oh, they're still playing. I'm like, okay, there's a chance. And then the United States made every single putt. And finally, I was like, this calls for the shock koala. So I had to wake it up. I had to go find a eucalyptus leaf. I had to go take the picture. And sure enough, it did get posted. So.
There it is. I missed it on Sunday. So this is a very common post that Peter, for years, it would be the shock koala with the eucalyptus leaves in its mouth. Peter would post this for years when anything shocking happened in sports, and then it just went away. I don't know why. I'm scrolling your media feed on Twitter right now. PB, I don't know when the last time you posted it. It's been a long time, man.
I mean, a long time. I mean, again, it's been since, I don't know, LSU looked great on offense. When was the last time? Do you have the actual number of when, what happened, when it was?
When LSU looked great on offense or your koala?
Both. I mean, honestly.
Koala.
I remember vaguely those days.
Koala, June 18th. This was LSU against Arkansas in baseball at the College World Series.
That's not fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. Okay.
I mean, listen, we don't just, it's not just hey, you just throw it out. This is a special occasion. Certain, Oregon changes their uniforms every other, 3 days.
Yes.
You don't just ask for the shock koala to come out. I mean, had USA made that transition or made the comeback, that would have been one. And LSU, Arkansas, I mean, how the hell can you not use it back in that day? That was incredible.
Oh, you gave a double koala. So the last time was New Year's Day.
Oh, wow.
What happened? It had to be something bowl game related.
Had to be.
Here it is. Texas, Arizona State.
Oh, yeah. That was, you see, again, you don't just kind of lollygag the shot call out there.
So it's about every 3 months is whenever you put it out there. Anyway, okay, so were you more, let's just get this one out of the way. Were you more impressed with Ole Miss or concerned with LSU?
Actually, you know what? I think I was more impressed with with Ole Miss. And I say that in the fact of so much, and I mean, even Elko talked about it in his little thing about, hey, I sound like Brian Kelly here in his post-game presser, that we don't give enough credit to the teams that play really well. And every time that Trinidad Chambliss needed to make a play, he seemed to make it. Right, like we broke down a couple plays on our show this morning of, hey, LSU had everything. I mean, they're after him, and he steps up just in the right spot. There's a lane for him to do it. I mean, there was one after the West Weeks penalty, which is still, I think, where the whole damn game changed in the pass. The roughing the passer or whatever, unsportsmanlike. They keep that drive going by Trinidad, just rolling out to the right and then throwing an incredible strike. And I think that's what I didn't think he had that in him, and I didn't think this Ole Miss defense was going to play that good early when they realized, oh man, LSU really can't run the ball, like legit can't run the ball.
That is the crux of every issue going on right now. Enough of that. The thing that I really wanted to ask you about today, because you'd have a much better sense of this than I would, what type of voodoo spell does Alabama have over Kirby Smart?
On Georgia, I mean, just the whole, I don't know how I lost you there.
I got you. We're here. Yep.
Yeah, I got you. It's, I don't know. I mean, it's literally like Alabama shows up, whether it's Saban or DeBoer, and knocks on the door and is like, "Where's my rent money?" Like they're the damn landlord right now. Like, I don't care. It's like Debo and the chain, and again, I mean, DeBoer worked them. I mean, this is 2 years in a row, and everybody's like, oh, it's Ryan Grubb. I was like, no, remember last year they went in Georgia came to Alabama, and it was like 24-zip right from the jump. And I don't know if it kind of reminds me of just, shades of when LSU would play good and then Bama would show up, and all of a sudden everything changed, like the mentality, and you could just tell everybody was tight in the football facility that week or whatnot. But there is something to it. And I'll tell you this, Ty Simpson looked damn good. And I still, you and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think the best thing that happened to Bama was getting shoved in the locker against FSU, because they realized that Bama brand's not as powerful as it used to be, and you got to show up because everybody looks at you as an opportunity now, and they weren't losing that ball game.
It was interesting, man. Bama got shut out in the second half. So Georgia, the defense showed up in the second half, but man, Kirby, like, were you screaming the same thing, PB, when they passed on the field goal from the 10-yard line?
It wasn't a field goal, and I didn't get bothered by that, because I think that's hindsight's 20/20 to say, oh, well, they should have kicked the field goal after they lose. Like, yeah, I get it. What I didn't understand is that they decided to go tempo, and they went on tempo on third down, which is fine. But if you go back and look at the film, had they not gone tempo, they would have taken their time and actually realized that Gunnar Stockton had the first down. Like, they wouldn't have had a fourth down. And so the idea that they would go tempo means that you're trying to trick somebody. And I can't remember the last time I saw a Georgia football team go, we're not good enough, even though they were running the ball at 7 yards a carry. Yeah. We're not big enough and strong enough at home to get a yard. Like, that was the most shocking part of it. And frankly, that's why they deserve to lose.
They were running north and south. You're right. That was maybe a big surprise, too, is that they didn't just hand the ball off to the giant back who was ripping off like 7-yard runs every time he touched it. Peter Burns is with us, SEC Network, courtesy of Blue Delta Jeans, BlueDeltaJeans.com, BlueDeltaJeans.com. Hey, what was your big takeaway from Texas A&M Auburn?
Just honestly, and I said it on the show this morning, I think Auburn reminds me of the Cincinnati Bengals. And the fact that they spent the money on the quarterback, Joe Burrow, Jackson Arnold. They spent the money on the wide receivers, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman, and they forgot about the offensive line. And now Jackson Arnold has no shot. I mean, poor guy reminds me of David Carr with the Texans. Like, everybody's just going to tee off on them now, and it's not going to get any easier because they're going to have, I think, Georgia and might be Texas after that. Like, it's bad. And again, every time I look at it, go, God, this offense for LSU is just struggling right now. I can sit there and go, at least there's some type of, like, I think they can get that fixed. It doesn't help when you lose an offensive lineman in warm-ups and your star running back is injured and Aaron Anderson goes out. I don't know how that's fixable with Hugh. I really don't. And it's starting to turn really ugly. They had 8 carries. I mean, like, when you think of football teams that are around the run, I think of Auburn football. And Hugh just continues to get trigger happy when he has no offensive line. It's maddening.
They A&M won that game 16-10. You're right. So open date for Auburn. Then they go Georgia, Missouri, at Arkansas, Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, Mercer, and Alabama. I mean, there's I think at least 3 more losses on that schedule for Auburn.
I mean, might be 4. Bobby Petrino's back, baby.
Hey, man.
We got neck brace. He's back.
We got neck brace. Do you have a thought on who would want that job? Who would be perfect for that job?
Yeah, Bobby Petrino.
Do you think he would actually get the job full time again?
I do, and the reason why I say that is, when I'm listening to Hunter Yurachek talking to today, because I was hosting a press conference show, he talked about it's important that somebody knows Arkansas. Well, Petrino knows Arkansas. Yeah. He talks about we need a lot more booster money, right? You know, a couple of weeks ago he was saying that they were poor, that they'll never win a national championship, and he said, hey, we are confident we'll have the money. And when I hear that, you got to read between the lines. The reason why so many people wanted Bobby Petrino to be the interim head coach, it's the money people. Because the money people are the same people that back in 2000 and 12 or whatever before the chaos started, they saw him bring Arkansas almost to the promised land. And so they think that he could do it again. And Hunter Yurachek's kind of held over a barrel now saying, hey, listen, man, you got to give Bobby a chance. Like, this is our dude. And Yurachek can't say no to those guys. So he'll have a 7-game trial period. And, I mean, you got to probably go at least 4-3. But here's the deal. If you're calling poor right now, what's a better job? SMU and Rhett Lashley and what you have in the path you can get to the college football playoff, or Arkansas trying to rebuild going into a 9 SEC conference schedule?
SMU. Like we talked about it last hour, Pete. There's no way. If I'm Rhett Lashley, there's no shot. I'm not saying I wouldn't leave I think if I'm Rhett Lashley, I would take the Florida job. There's no shot I'm leaving SMU for Arkansas.
Virginia Tech? I mean, then you go into an ACC that seems wide open. Oklahoma State, they've got money, and that seems wide open. Like, I've had coaches that talk to me about it going, this is the first time now because of NIL saying, why would I go to the SEC? Yeah, it'd be nice to make $9-10 million a year if we get it rolling, but I'm in a murderer's row. Now they're going to play 9 conference games, and every week is going to be a damn fist fight. Yep. When I could go look at other place, have other a lot of money of NIL, and have a probably easier path.
Let's see, Tennessee, A&M, LSU, Texas, Missouri, 5 ranked opponents, and the 2 unranked opponents are Auburn and Mississippi State.
Right.
Good luck, Bob. I mean, we'll see what that conversation's like in November when they're staring at a 3-win season, 4-win season. I mean, ain't nobody saving that thing.
I mean, the defense has got to get a lot better, and guess what? There's a bunch of guys. Any of the few guys that could play defense on Arkansas are probably not happy that their defensive coordinator and all their guys just got blown out that morning, too. So I think it gets worse before it gets better.
Peter Burns, you'll get him at Peter Burns ESPN. Encourage him to use the shot koala GIF a little bit more, or I guess I should say meme a little bit more. And Blue Delta Jeans. Yes, sir.
Hey. Real quick, yes. I'm sorry because I was you were trying to end the segment.
Aaron, you gotta get him in for at least a package for South Carolina, right? Or several packages.
Wait, what? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, your phone cut out. Say again. Hey, do we lose him?
No, I'm sorry.
No, there you are. Wait, what were we saying?
Van Buren. I mean, you got to bring him in for a couple of packages, right? Against South Carolina, non-negotiable.
I mean, I'm not eager to see it, Pete. Like, you've got Juwan Johnson, who's capable of doing all the same things. So, like, if you want to change it up, okay, I'm not opposed to that. But like, what really are you trying to accomplish?
I mean, I'm trying to accomplish actually having some type of threat of being able to run the ball. And when Pete Golden can sit there and go, you got 3 guys, and I'm going to drop everybody 8 because nobody's going to burn me.
I think
you got to try something.
I think a giant part of it, Pete, is you got to just. I mean, you realize the running backs had 2 attempts in the first half. 2. It starts with actually running the football. Like, you have to be willing to hand the ball to a running back and let them try to run, which they don't do. They've got 140 rushing attempts through 5 games. It's the fewest number of attempts in the SEC. Like, you have to be willing to try, and they're not even willing to try. I mean, I would start there. Like, actually handing the ball to a running back and letting them run with it.
Mm.
That's just my crazy theory.
Mm. That's a good theory. All right.
Thank you, Peter.
Love you, miss you. Bye.
Let's second. It's AFR.
AFR.
I love telling you about Duplessis Builders. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. I've told you about how they can build you a beautiful custom pool. Told you about Derek, who's a local guy, went to LSU, loves supporting the Tigers, done tons of NIL deals. But this is another way they get. I've told you about how they're on the Pool and Spa magazine's top 50 pool builders in the country. But this is an awesome thing they're doing. So Derek is donating a pool to raise money for Dreams Come True of Louisiana. I love this. They're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True of Louisiana. If you make a minimum $25 donation, you go to 1045ESPN.com, 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 make a minimum $25 purchase, or excuse me, a minimum $25 donation, you're entered into the Dream Pool Sweepstakes. Someone is going to win a pool courtesy of Duplessis Builders. All you got to do is donate $25 to Dreams Come True of Louisiana. DuplessisBuilders.net.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
Sean Fazan will be here in an hour. A lot to talk about with the Saints. If you missed it, Kellen Moore announced they've activated Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill's 21-day window, which is exciting. That looks like you're probably going to get those guys back at some point this year, which was certainly up in the air. However, Cesar Ruiz, a little bit of breaking news, and it's up at LouisianaSports.net. Cesar Ruiz, high ankle sprain. Report is he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So just when you get Trevor Penning back, after missing the first 3 games of the season, now you're going to be without your right guard for, looks like 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. We'll talk more about that coming up here in a bit. Sean Fazan again an hour from right now. After LSU lost on Saturday to Ole Miss, I think there's one very familiar question that's being asked by darn near everybody, and it's, what's wrong with Garrett Nussmeier? And there's a lot of different layers to that question. Is it physical? Is it his decision-making, awareness? A lot of different things, potentially. But the one thing that's really just undeniable is that Nussmeier, who was a 4,000-yard passer a season ago, has seen his production just plummet. Through 5 games, he's thrown for 1,159 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's been very efficient through the first 4 games until this week with the interception. But the production hasn't been there for this offense. That much is obvious. And the most common question after Saturday's loss has been, what's wrong with Nussmeier? Is he hurt? And I guess my issue with that question is that nobody had this concern just 7 days ago. And I'm not talking about beating Southeastern 56-0. I'm not talking about the fact that you ran over an FCS team. I'm talking about the fact that he was on time. He was accurate. He made all the throws. He threw accurately deep. He had zip over the middle. Like, nobody was talking about Nuss's torso 7 days ago. So did something happen in practice this week leading up, or was it something else? Like, just, again, follow the timeline with me, okay? So media's out there. We're watching practice from the start of fall camp. August 15th, it was a Friday. Nussmeier's not throwing. A day later, they're scrimmaging. He's a full go in the scrimmage. So if something was really wrong on Friday, then why is he scrimmaging on Saturday? 7 days later, it's August the 23rd, 1 week before Clemson. It's their walkthrough in Tiger Stadium. Nuss, media's there. Nuss is not throwing again. And Brian Kelly said it's just load management. They have him on a pitch count. he plays a week later against Clemson, wins National Offensive Player of the Week honors, right? Nobody's asking a question about Nussmeier's health. They play Florida on September the 13th. You all know. I mean, they scored 20 points. 7 were from the defense. The offense scored 13 points despite 5 interceptions. Kelly's asked postgame about the offense. He blows up on Cobble. And on Monday, so this would have been on September the 15th, 2 days later, Kelly discloses the torso injury.
I'll be honest, and I wasn't going to get into this, but with you guys, I will. You know, he's been slowed a little bit with a torso injury, and he's fighting through it, and he's getting better, and he's not going to be able to really shut it down until we get to the bye week.
Okay, so a lot of people said, you beat Florida, he's got a torso injury, why wait to the bye week, shut him down against Southeastern. He goes out against Southeastern and looks sharp. I think we would all agree to that. Like, there was nothing that you saw. There was no underthrow on a deep ball. It wasn't like a wobbly 20-yarder. Like, he looked physically fine. So then you go play this game against Ole Miss. It goes badly, and now everyone's like, is Nuss hurt? All those questions are coming up again because the offense played very poorly. For what it's worth, this was the first time that Garrett Nussmeier was asked about this. First time there was media availability for Nussmeier. This is what Nuss said post-game.
I'm not going to answer any questions about my health right now, currently. Right now, obviously, I'm frustrated about the loss and just looking to get back, watch the tape, find ways to get better.
So, Nuss was asked if he was healthy. He says, I'm not answering questions about my health. Brian Kelly in the post-game was asked about Nuss if he was healthy. This is what Kelly said.
The quarterback is going to get micromanaged when you lose games. I get that, Jacques. Look, all I can tell you is, he's healthy. And, again, I think he would tell you, just like Tyree Adams would tell you, just like Chris Hilton would tell you, Barrow Sharp would tell you, we need to play better and more consistent on the offensive side of the ball.
So Brian Kelly says the quarterback is healthy. Is Garrett Nussmeier limited physically? Does he have the torso? Is it the knee tendonitis? Is it something with his arm? I don't know. I'm telling you candidly, I don't know. I've shared a lot of what I've been told since fall camp. You hear lots of crazy things and rumors, and it's hard to get anything solidified. But why? But if this was a problem on Saturday, why was it not a problem a week ago against Southeastern? I'm not talking about winning the game. I'm talking about the physical ability to make all the throws, which he did a week ago. And also, they took 7 deep shots against Ole Miss. They were 1 for 7 in those. You drew a few PIs, but they took 7 deep shots. They were attempting to throw the ball down the field. But ultimately, for me, what it comes back to is this. If Garrett Nussmeier is physically limited, run the ball. Right? Doesn't that seem like a pretty obvious thing to do? But on Saturday, you threw it 34 times and you ran it 21. And the game was never out of reach. It wasn't like you had to throw to play catch up. It was a 7-3 ball game until they scored at the 4:53 mark of the first half to go up 10-7. I mean, this was never out of reach. That should get you off schedule and off your plan. But I keep going back to what Cole Kublik told us before the season when I asked him why LSU last year, with 4 NFL draft picks, why they could not run block. This is what Cole said.
I don't think that offensive line could not run block last year. I don't think that offensive line was given a fair chance to be good run blockers last year.
And when you look at it, it's the same thing again. LSU, so far in this season, has not even attempted to run. For the season, LSU has 147 rushing attempts in 5 games. As a per-game average, that is the fewest rushing attempts per game in the SEC. There's some teams that have only played 4 games, so they have fewer rushing attempts. So I also understand that on Saturday, your starting right tackle gets hurt in pregame warmups. And you're without DJ Chester for the first half because of targeting. And then Paul Mabenga gets hurt on the second drive of the third quarter. And so what's already a struggling unit is now down two starters. I get that's not ideal. But I can't help but also look and say a couple things. Number one, is pressure affecting throws? We saw it through the whole game against Ole Miss. You had 3- and 4-man fronts getting pressure. I was listening to Football Sunday with Jimmy Ott, and he had Mike Delicano and Rohan Davey on there. It's two former quarterbacks who were both giving their assessment, and they both said that when you're getting pressure with 3 or 4 and you're dropping 7 or 8 into coverage, now as a quarterback, you're uncomfortable because there are no throwing lanes. There are 7 or 8 men dropping into coverage, which means everybody is double covered. There is no clear lane to throw. And so sometimes you get frustrated, like the interception he threw into double coverage, like the pass to Tradez Green at the end of the first half after the high ball to Aaron Anderson. The pass to Tradez was into triple coverage. PFF rated that as a turnover-worthy play because it was. That's frustration, trying to make something happen in that situation. And then when they're getting pressure with a 3-man rush, not only are you trying to throw into lanes where there's defensive bodies everywhere, but now you've got pressure in your face, you're being flushed, and so now you're off target trying to throw on the run, you're moved off your spot. It makes it even harder. And to make things even worse, there is no threat of the quarterback run, which I know is something everybody's screamed about forever. But look at the other side of the field. What did Trinidad Chambliss do so well that affected LSU? When they brought pressure, he was able to convert with his feet. That was the difference. Ole Miss has a 3-man front. You've got 5 blocking him. Garrett Nussmeier didn't take off. He tried to run one time. He was sacked once, and he tried to take off one time. It was when the defender grabbed his undershirt and ripped it and got him down after a 1-yard gain. So look, Brian Kelly said back on September the 15th, he wouldn't get to be 100% until they were able to shut him down for the bye. Well, the bye is here. Shut him down. Do nothing this week and take it very easy next week in the ramp up to South Carolina. And for the love of God, commit to running the football. You've got to commit to giving your guys an opportunity to make plays in the running game, because you're not going to ever bust the 20-yard or the 50-yard if you don't commit to doing it. So I don't know if something is physically wrong with Garrett Nussmeier. What I do know is, as we follow everything that's been said, the bye is here. He can shut it down. He should be the healthiest he's been when you come back against South Carolina. But a healthy Garrett Nussmeier doesn't matter a lick if you're still having this giant imbalance run-pass, because he's still going to be throwing into 7- and 8-man coverages, and he's still going to be feeling pressure from 3-man rushes, 3- and 4-man rushes. And that's what every team is going to do until you show you are willing to run the football. Because why would they commit numbers to the box if you're not going to run it and you're just going to keep slinging it? I know this is all easier said than done, but sometimes the simplest answer is right in front of your face. Put numbers at the line of scrimmage and try to run the ball and see if that opens up your passing game. Make them commit numbers to having to stop the run and open up your passing game. Got 2 weeks to figure it out. And if they don't, it's going to be a very, very disappointing November. Everything that LSU has, every goal is very much in play. You have an incredible defense. You have a veteran quarterback that you've seen do it. You've got talented skill guys everywhere. And you have winnable games. You can win games. You can beat anyone left on your schedule if you play at what your peak is. And as Brian Kelly likes to say, complementary football. But part of the offense complementing the defense is the ability to run the football. They got to figure that out in this bye week. All right, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Maybe you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle. Cool. Go to South Point Volkswagen. They got all different makes and models. Yeah, they got certified pre-owned Volkswagens, but they have all different makes and models as well. So think about it. They sell so many new Volkswagens, so people trade in their old vehicle. So you can go check them out. I mean, I'm looking at the certified pre-owns right now, and they got all different makes and models. Like there's a 2020 Subaru Outback, a 2014 Nissan Pathfinder, a 2022 Mazda CX-5. Great inventory. Check them out. Mr. Kerry Manuel's a certified pre-owned manager over at South Point Volkswagen. So go check them out. New or certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Kellen Moore did meet with reporters on Monday after the team got back from their loss to the Buffalo Bills. We'll let you hear some updates from that and the unfortunate news that we all sort of anticipated on Malik Nabers as the Giants are coming to the Dome this week. What does it mean for this weekend's matchup? We'll talk about it next on AFR.
After Further Review.
I love telling you about Clegg's Nursery, and my goodness, if you woke up on Sunday and walked outside, now it warmed up and it's 90 degrees right now, but if you woke up on Sunday and walked outside, you had a little nip in the air, you were in the upper 60s, that first little hint that fall could be near, man, it is time to get by Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations, Siegen Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Look, deer season is just a few days away. Buckbusters, Mobuck, deer corn, rice bran, they got it all at all 4 Clegg's Nursery locations, so pop on in. And they've got all of your fall decor. Listen, you want to plant those fall bedding plants, vegetable gardens, I got you. But they got all the decor as well. Pumpkins and hay bales and squash and gourds and scarecrows and wheat stalks and everything you need for that beautiful fall display in your front patio, your back porch, and your office building. Get your school. Get on by any of the Clegg's Nursery locations. Buy local, shop local. Bypass the big box store and visit Clegg's Nursery.
After Further Review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And we do shutters too.
Injuries happen. Certainly not happy about it, whether it was Malik or anybody else. But unfortunately, this is a business of injury. And I feel terrible for Malik's injury. We'll see where it's at. He's an important piece of our team, but the guys that play behind him, just like last year when Slay went in, Seattle, and the week after that, whatever it may be, everybody gets paid to do a job, and it's the next man up.
That is Giants head coach Brian Daboll after the game. The Giants got the win in Jackson Dart's debut against the Chargers there in New York, but it was certainly a costly win, as by now it has been confirmed. Malik Nabers, torn ACL. He is out for the season, so his second year in the NFL now is done prematurely. My goodness, just 4 games into the season. You probably all saw the play by now where he was running down the right sideline. He went up for ball, came down awkwardly, and immediately clutched his right knee, was carted off, and was immediately feared to be a torn ACL, and then the MRI here on Monday did in fact confirm it. So it's just massively disappointing for a local guy, obviously from Louisiana, an LSU guy who would have had the opportunity this week to come play in his home state as the Giants are coming to play New Orleans in the Superdome against the Saints this week. But there'll be no Malik Nabers in that game. So we hope for speedy recovery for Malik to get back next year and back to his usual self. And it's one of the best receivers in the NFL. For New Orleans specifically, you never want to look at it this way, but it's the reality of an injury like this, is that it's kind of you hate to say it that way, but you kind of catch a break. Malik Nabers is one of the best receivers in the NFL. And if we're being completely honest, Kool-Aid McKinstry so far this season has struggled mightily. On the opening possession of the game against Buffalo, they went right at Kool-Aid, and Buffalo went right down the field against him. So, this has been a bit of a tough start to the season for Kool-Aid McKinstry. I mean, so far, if you look at PFF grades, his overall grade through 4 games, Kool-Aid McKinstry's overall defensive grade through 4 games is a 48.7. I mean, that's a guy you draft. By contrast, for example, Demario Davis is an 87.1. Among your starters, he's the best. Now, Isaiah Stallbird, who's played 6 snaps, has a 94.5. But among your contributors, DeMario's at an 87.1, just for context. Jonas Sanker is at a 77.3. The guy who I'd like to see more of is Quincy Riley. The rookie, he's only played 42 snaps, but his defensive grade is a 69.4. He's dinged because his tackling grade is a 33. But his coverage grade is a 60.8, which is pretty good, considering Kool-Aid's coverage grade is a 49.1. I'm not trying to throw out a bunch of numbers. You don't need to memorize this. I'm just running through PFF. It's just to illustrate, the challenge you have this week and every week going against a legit. I mean, everybody has a number one. Every team has a receiver that is their number one. And Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to draw that assignment the same way that Marshawn Lattimore did for almost a decade in New Orleans. And you felt really good every week running Lattimore out there against whoever else is number one. There were some matchups that didn't favor him, but there were some where he did an outstanding job. And he was a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback year after year after year and a legit number one. And the hope in a year like this is that someone like Kool-Aid McKinstry can elevate and emerge to prove to be that guy. And so far, it's 4 games, small sample, but that has not been the case. But you catch a break, because I would not favor Kool-Aid McKinstry in a matchup against Malik Nabers, but with a rookie, even with a rookie quarterback throwing him the football. Well, now, if you take Malik Nabers off the field for the Giants, that changes the dynamic of their offense, because what an incredible safety blanket for a rookie quarterback to have a guy like Malik Nabers. Now, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton are the guys that will take that mantle, but that's just a very different dynamic than with Malik Nabers out there. As for the New Orleans Saints, Kellen Moore met with reporters on Monday, and there's some good news. He announced that Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill both opened up their 21-day window. They'll return to practice this week, so you're not going to have them this week, but within the next month, you could end up having those 2 guys back on the field. And Kellen Moore was asked about Taysom specifically, and for whenever they get him back, what he might be able to add to this offense.
Taysom's obviously a tremendous football player. He does a lot of different things. He's got a unique skill set that is tough to replicate and match in this league. And so, obviously it's been a long journey for Taysom and Foster to get back to this point, to just even be able to be back to practice. And so we'll just see how it all progresses. But, he's obviously had such an impact on this organization for such a long time. And whenever that time comes, he's back on the field, we'll be fired up.
Didn't really go into a lot of detail there, but it's a guy who you seemingly will have back at some point. And the other player that Kellen Moore talked about on Monday is one I just referenced, which is Jonas Sanker, who among your starters is the second highest graded on PFF right now, behind only Demario Davis. And as we continue to look at a season where you're looking for future cornerstone pieces, as disappointing, it's early. I'm not throwing dirt on Kool-Aid McKinstry after 4 games. But as disappointing of a start as it's been for McKinstry, it's been the complete 180 for Jonas Sanker, who's been outstanding.
Jonas just done an awesome job. I'm just really happy for this guy. This guy's progressing every week. He played some really hard situations this week. He made the big-time interception, but he was matched up against some of the best tight ends in the league in Buffalo, and he covered him, step for step, made some great plays on the ball, and he's coming around in just a really special way, and so I'm fired up to just see him continue to progress.
Saints are back at the facility on Monday. Of course, NFL off day on Tuesdays. We'll get to work for the New York Giants on Wednesday. The Giants opened up a slight 1-point favorite over the Saints, but it's a virtual pick'em, and that's one where the Saints are going to have an opportunity to notch their first win of the season, the first win of Kellen Moore's career, the first win of Spencer Rattler's career as well. We'll see if they can get it in the Dome on Sunday against New York. All right, we're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Again, go to the website, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Remember, one of the things that First South Farm Credit offers is their patronage refund. So every year they share in their profits with their member borrowers, which effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. So let's say you got locked in at a 5% rate. Well, when you get your patronage refund, it's almost like you were at a 4% rate instead. It's just another way that they give back to the people that have contributed to their success for more than 100 years. It's First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. So log on to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Monday's AFR always brought to you by Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Muse will have Tigers in the pros when we come back to wrap up hour number 2. We will talk to Sean Fazan 30 minutes from right now. Get some more thoughts there on New Orleans. They get ready for New York and recap in Buffalo. And in about 15 minutes after the top of the hour, we'll run through the LSU PFF grades from LSU at Ole Miss. It's all coming up. Stay with us here on AFR.
After Further Review. After Further Review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
We are wrapping up hour number 2. Hump Day shows, Monday shows, not Hump Day. I wish it were. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. They do shutters as well. Check them out, reliefwindows.com, no matter where you are, by the way. All over the Gulf South. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. I'll just drop my pen. So I'm going to get my pen while Muso does Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
I got it.
I see that.
Hughes, I got my pen.
I see that. That's a good thing.
Got it.
We'll start up in Buffalo.
Got it.
Tre'Davious White.
Coming high.
No. He was the leading tackler for the Bills yesterday in their victory over the Saints. 7 total stops and 1 for a loss. So, I mean, look, if you're watching the game, you saw 27 a lot out there. Good for Tre'Davious White.
Good Shaq.
Another defender who was all over the field. If you were watching the early game in Dublin, the Steelers and the Vikings, you saw plenty of Patrick Queen. 11 tackles, a sack, 3 TFLs, and an additional hit on the quarterback. And he wasn't even the leading tackler for the Pittsburgh defense. Justin Jefferson on the other side, 10 receptions for $126, long of 29. Still didn't find the end zone, but nonetheless, an effective day there for Justin Jefferson. K'Lavon Chaisson, and this is interesting, man. He's quietly carving himself out a nice role up there in New England. 2 more stops and another sack for him in the big victory over the Panthers through 4 weeks. He's up to 2.5 sacks. For a guy whose career started really slowly, he had a nice year with the Patriots last year, and again, off to a pretty nice start here. And then lastly, Danielle Hunter. Speaking of sacks, my goodness. 2 more for him. 4 total stops in the ball game. He had 3 hits on the quarterback. Hunter, if you're just curious, keeping track, he's up to 4 sacks on the season through 4 weeks as well.
Pretty good
for the Texans. And then Derek
That's
Stingley,
like 1 a game.
Yeah, it is. And then Derek Stingley Jr., not to be outdone, 2 stops and an interception. His first interception of the year. He did return that for 20 yards before eventually being brought down.
He's pretty good, too.
He's having a great year as well. Yeah, I mean, Texans defense, that's not really the problem. Their offense has been a much bigger issue. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. We always say Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. And, of course, if you need to schedule service, we always tell you about tires, name brand tires at wholesale prices, which they will sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. But at Shaw Bills, not only will they sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, but any type of service that you need, they will keep you rolling. And they've been doing that since 1968. My goodness, 1968. Coming up on like 60 years. It's incredible. Mr. Charlie opened the doors in 1968. They've continued to grow and expand, servicing all of South Louisiana, still locally owned and operated. His daughter, Miss Beth, runs the company. We told you, so proud. Miss Beth named Modern Tire Dealer of the Year, National Award this year. And we love our partnership with our friends over at Shaw Bills because they'll treat you like family. Name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they'll treat you like family. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. Putting a button here on hour number 2. When we come back after Sports Center, I want to dive into the Pro Football Focus grades. We do that every week, recapping the LSU game. And as I often say, PFF sometimes it will either confirm or disconfirm what the eye test showed you. And in a couple of instances, oh yeah, it'll confirm what you saw. But there's one interesting tidbit, I think, on the flip side that may surprise you based on how that game played out. We'll get to the PFF grades and then Sean Fazand about 20 minutes from right now talking some black and gold. Stay with us. Stay far.
AFR.
Supper Club is closed today, and they're closed Sunday, Monday, but they'll be back open on Tuesday to Saturday. And with the open date this week, oh, what a perfect time to experience Supper Club. Maybe you've never been. Book your reservation. Do it now. Don't wait. Just jump. Jump right now. Go to supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com, book your reservation. Maybe you've been, but it's been a while. Chef Layton does an awesome job of introducing new things onto the menu. Like maybe you've tried every steak they have. Well, maybe try the bison next time. Last time I went about 2 weeks ago, had the bison for the first time. It was outstanding. You can go through the menu and try everything at Supper Club because everything is going to be the best thing you've ever had. It is the premier dining experience in Baton Rouge and quite honestly, in the country. I mean, there are literally steaks on the menu that you can't get it, but maybe a handful of restaurants in the entire United States, and it's right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. Book your reservation at Supper Club.